Good morning, Flosstube, and hello again from Cowgirl Kate here. It's wonderful to see you all again, and I really must say thank you so much. Um, the the welcome back after being gone for so long has just it's been overwhelming. I don't know what to say. Because I kind of figured, well, it's been so long, I'd probably be forgotten about because you kind of go off in circles sometimes and somehow you always find your way back. But I just want to say thank you so much for the warm welcome, and yeah, you all warm my heart. Thank you. This video will be all about the Heaven and Earth collection. Before I get into more on that, I would like to do some shout outs because that's my favorite part, is finding new people who have ventured into the Flosstube world. So in no particular order, and bear in mind I've only seen like a video, maybe one of each, but oh, what I saw was impressive. So y'all need to go check that out. And so I got my little list here, and we'll start off with the Kentucky Woman Stitcher. I just found her, and I love her accent. She's working on some very beautiful things. I love how more and more people are getting so brave and jumping into this idea of sharing your passions and with the pictures and the interaction and it's almost like sitting down and talking to somebody. And she's got some beautiful projects. It's been very inspiring because I'm starting to branch away from my usual forte, which was kind of, four main genres, but I'm starting to branch out, and it's because of Flosstube. It's just so inspiring because you get to see the projects up close. You get to interact with the people and build that rapport, and it's just amazing. I love it. Another lady who's got some wonderful projects going on is Handmade. Now, Anne-Marie told me about Handmade and said, oh, you need to go check her out. Oh, you just love her stuff. Well, she was right. And oh my goodness, she's doing everything from regular, charts like the beginner kits. She kind of chronologues her whole journey up to switching out chatelaine stuff. So she's worked on Mirabilia, and I think Mirabilia. Forgive me, my memory sucks sometimes. But I know that she did a bunch of Just Nan and Sweetheart Tree, and don't let the Just Nans and the Sweetheart Trees fool you. They might look simple and dainty and airy and everything, but there's a lot of work packed into those little suckers. And wow, if you've ever tackled one, kudos to you. So she's got a whole bunch of things going on. She's not afraid to change things up, so well worth subscribing to, so go check her out too. Another one is Flizzy Fish Cross Stitcher, and I love her accent too. And oh, it's just so cool how you can almost travel the world in a needlework fashion just through Flosstube. It's awesome. So you need to go check her out. She's got some beautiful things. I've only gotten through part of one of her videos, but like I said, they're very inspiring, and you need to all go check them out. So yeah, those are my shout outs for today. Hopefully I'll find a few more. I also have baby kittens here with me, but they're sleeping, so they're behaving. Fingers crossed. Yes, Pixie's brothers have moved in with us just through the duration. I don't know if they'll stay all winter. It just kind of depends, but more than likely at this size they probably will. And someday I'm going to write a book about all the critters that have kind of moved in for winter hibernation. So what can you do? You can't let them be out there and be all cold and stuff, especially when they're such little babies. They have a harder time. So anyway, rolling into the Heaven and Earth stuff. I started collecting Heaven and Earth shortly after they opened. And I always regretted this because they were only like 2 hours away that I could have, oh, if they'd had the retreats going on, I could have jumped in on that and had so much fun. However, that was way back when. And now they're way off on the other end of the country, so, it's kind of one of those things. But maybe someday. And the majority of my collection is the hard copies, just because that's what I preferred. And it's only been maybe this last 2 years that I started having anything to do with the PDF versions. And I really like those because they're easy to store and you just print off whatever page you want. The only thing with it is, for me it's like, oh, well, the hard copies are nice, the PDFs are so easy to store, and yeah, I mean, they each have their pros and cons. I will say, since I've been collecting for so long, some of them are out of print, and I don't intend to part with them anytime soon because, well, I haven't had a chance to make them myself. So that's kind of where that stands. And considering how long it takes me to get a finish, I'll probably be at this till I'm 538. But that's okay. I can live with that. Someone else can enjoy them after that. But until then, here we go. The big collection. There's this big, huge box here waiting. And then for the PDFs, I just have some of their cover pages printed out. The only whips I'm going to be showing today will be those that I inherited from Kirsten. Kirsten was amazing. She will forever be a legend in my mind as #1 stitcher. I don't think there's anybody that could ever, top what she was able to do, because she was good, she was talented, and she cranked them out like you wouldn't believe. So, yeah, she was good. So I have her whips here. I inherited several, I think 3, of her projects that were still in progress when she passed away. And so they are on my radar as a priority. However, Kirsten did hers 1/1 on 28 count, and I just can't do that. I've tried even working on it in sunlight, and I can't. So I need to get a better system that the heaven and earth can have some progress again, because that's kind of what's been the holdup since we've moved into this house. I don't have a setup for my lamp. I have a magnifier lamp, a really nice one, but I need to get a base for it because I don't have a suitable desk or table to clamp it to. So until I get a base for it, the Heaven and Earth projects just have to wait. I tried working on Nocturne, or no, not Nocturne. Oh, this is terrible. I can't remember her name. But anyway, the vampire one, the 13 for Halloween. I tried Gloaming. That's her name. I remembered eventually. I tried working on her in sunlight, and it was okay, but it was on 22 count, and I was still kind of struggling. So I thought, you know what? These need their own approach, and rather than getting frustrated and getting tired eyes, especially when nobody's getting much sleep during harvest anyway, it's just best to set those aside until things are better and I have a setup for them. So that'll be the goal. Maybe sometime this winter it'll happen. We'll see. Fingers crossed. So I guess now would be a good time to introduce her whips, because the rest will be just patterns. So the first one is Queen of Hearts. And she printed off the picture really big so that she could see, she could just prop that up on her stand. But it's a gothic looking fairy in a red dress. Oh my goodness. The amount of work she has on this is just breathtaking. And I'm not sure if I'd showed this before. Maybe I have and I don't remember because, like I said, my memory is getting worse all the time. But here is what she has done on it so far. I mean, just look at that beautiful, beautiful face. Oh my goodness. And that was always our thing. We had to get to the face as quickly as possible because, you know, then we could watch the rest of it grow. But that's Queen of Hearts, and she's doing this 1/1 full stitch on 28 count. Looks like Lugana, but it might be Jobeling because it's kind of soft. So quite a busy bee, and she had only just started this, so she was only at this one for maybe a couple of months. The other one she had going on was, well, she would work on these simultaneously. She had a rotation, so each one got their time. But in between these sessions, she'd finish a Mirabilia or a Dimensions or, you know, some other big project because she liked the big ones and she was able to crank out 4 or 5 of them a year. So, I mean, that's really something. This one is called Snow Princess, and this is what it looks like. Very beautiful. And this is what she has done on it so far. I mean, it's just, oh, it takes my breath away, you know, just, and she was very much drawn to winter scenes because she lived in Australia and had never seen snow. So, yeah, that was her way of, you know, having it in her house. So, I mean, that's kind of special. And the final one that she had a work in progress of was Merlin and Arthur. Let's see. By Scott Gustafson. Or Gustafson. I think that's how you say it. And this is how much she has done of that one. So there are a lot of beautiful, beautiful heaven and earth here waiting. And these are priority, but you know, I'm doing mine on, you know, 25 count is the smallest. So these are a bit of a challenge just because they are over 1 and 128. It's very tiny, and I gotta have a better system for tackling that. So just put these in a safe place where no kitties are gonna, you know, run across them because they still have their claws and, you know, they know how to use them. Excuse me. All right. So now we get into the box. The first one I've ever received was a gift from Kirsten, and she liked this one because I had mentioned it, and I have a horse named Phoenix. I don't think I had one. I did not have Phoenix at the time, but I had said, boy, if I ever get a horse, I'm going to name it Phoenix because it'll be like rising from the ashes. So she picked this one. And that was the first one. And I was just going to stitch the fairy and not all the background, but I haven't gotten to it. Ah, how sad. But it is what it is, right? We'll get there eventually. The other one she sent, and this was her, that's just another copy of it. This was the last Christmas present that she ever sent, was this pattern. And it's my favorite of his artwork. I have a couple, a couple of this artist, but this one is my favorite just because it has the big white horse and the king and all the royal court and just all kinds of stuff going on there. I just love it. And I started it way back when I first got it. I started it 1/1 on 28 and I couldn't do it, so I just had like a little tiny corner. So I've since restarted it on the larger count fabric. The other one from this artist is a very popular picture, and it's also one of my favorites just because it's the lady in the night, and yeah, how romantic, it's beautiful, especially the horse. The horse would definitely, you know, seal the deal for me. This one has a special connection and a bit of a history lesson. It is called Hands of the Fiddler, and it is one of my favorite HAED designs. I never knew my grandfather. He passed away in 1966 at the age of 94, and that was, you know, eons before I was even a thought. So I never met him and only, you know, grew up on stories about him. But he played fiddle and harmonica. And now in my family, for the longest time it was only me that ever had any interest in the violin. And since then, niece has also decided to try it. So, I mean, it's just really, you know, kind of fun and cool that, you know, we have that in our history. But this one is ready to go. I just haven't started it yet because I would like to start it on his birthday. It's just his birthday happens to be in spring when it's super crazy around here, so I have not had the opportunity yet or the right setup, but we'll get there. It's on my radar. It has to be started on that day. This one is also a work in progress. There's not much done on them, but it's a work in progress. There we go. And it is just so beautiful. And I have a thing for peacocks and wisteria. My garden is full of wisteria. If I had doves, they'd probably be there too. But yeah, I love it just because it's beautiful. Why not? This one, I know Nikki just finished hers, and it was so incredible. Oh my goodness. But it is the Aragon and the Arwen. Ah, there we go. I missed the boat when this chart first came out. And I thought, oh, you know how crushing that is. So when it got re-released and I heard about it, snapped that sucker right up. I ain't started it yet, and I don't have it kitted, but I got the shirt. So we're good to go. These are some newer ones. We'll get more into the older charts as we get down to the bottom, but how cool is that? She sent a little thank you card. So if you're interested in any of these charts, you know, this is where you need to go. They got a website. It's very easy to navigate. And the patterns are high-tech quality. I mean, you will not be disappointed. There's Priya. And I really love her because she's kind of a steampunk look to her, yet she's, you know, this timeless kind of India, boho, you know, Bollywood kind of thing. So, yeah, love her. This one is very special to me because I'm writing a book about a fallen angel. So this is just, oh my gosh. Just change it around a little bit. It could be the illustration, but that one's special. I haven't started it yet, but the day will come got big plans, and I don't care if they're outrageous. I just enjoy getting to work on something, you know, so pretty. This one is a Halloween one, and I just love it. It kind of creeps my husband out because I think eyeballs, yeah, up above her head. There's eyeballs in a jar, and he's like, "Oh my God, that is freaky." But I don't care. It's Halloween. It's, you know, all part of it. This one's an older one. And I like this artist's work, but I could never decide which one to do, especially if it was a great big full size one. You know, it's like, well, that's kind of a lot of just that artist. But as a collage of smaller ones, I think it's great because I could just make smaller ones and have smaller pictures to frame and, you know, that sort of thing. So this one was perfect for me. I couldn't make up my mind, and this way I can. This one, Nocturne, she's a favorite. For obvious reasons, I play violin, so I spend a lot of time out in the fields. However, I don't look anything like her. This one is a whip. I'm still stuck up in this corner where it's all dark colors, but it's just reaching down into like where it turns purple by her hair. That's how far I've gotten. I worked on her for one of the HAED challenges in the Facebook group, and it was a lot of fun. So I've kind of thought that'd be a good way to do my Heaven and Earth from now on, so I don't have column lines and stuff. This one is Gloaming, and that's the one I just recently worked on. You can see this picture of her is a lot more vibrant, and the colors are much more vibrant than the little picture I have with her info. And as always the case, the pictures never do the project justice. This one is the other one I have as a companion, and like Gloaming, I will be starting this one. I have a piece of fabric, hand-dyed 22 count, I think, for this lady, because I'm not going to do the background, I'm just going to do the lady. I had started her on 20 count Valerie and decided that I didn't like the fabric. Maybe that'll be different now, but you know, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago at least, I didn't care for it. But you know, maybe now I do. So I have to go revisit that. And if that's the case, I can just rip out what little bit of the background I did and dye the fabric, and we're good to go. This one is a geisha. Just love her. I used to collect geisha dolls. I have like 4 or 5 of them. And I've since gotten away from it because I don't have anywhere to display them right now. But I still like them. I love their outfits. And this one is Chinese. Prndl. And I can't remember who has this one as a whip. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't remember. But I mean, she had gotten like really far. It was like over half done. And it was just incredible. Oh my gosh. Take your breath away. And you can see my taste kind of runs all over the place. Yeah, you just wait. It's a big box full of stuff. This one, somebody else just completed this one, and oh my goodness, talk about gorgeous. If I were to do this one, I would probably get a hand-dyed fabric and skip the background. Just do the lady. That's kind of my solution for the majority of them, unless, you know, there's something really fun going on in the background. Like this one, I would probably keep the background. And this one is kitted and ready to go. I just don't... Well, you know the reason. I already said. So, it's her. This one. I love this one. She kind of reminds me of Abby from NCIS. My husband watches that show, so, and Abby's my favorite character on it, so If I hear Abby talking, I will look up and pay attention. But other than that, it's like, I don't watch it. But I like her. She's pretty cool. This one I have not started, but it's just, it reminds me of the old legends about selkies and mermaids that would, you know, go back to the sea even though they, you know, had husbands on land. I just love it. She looks like she was a princess or something. I decided to ditch all that and go be a mermaid again. Who wouldn't? This one is one of my favorite Nene Thomases. Nene Thomas was my primary objective for HAEDs. I couldn't get enough. I wanted all of them, but I didn't manage to get there. This one is a whip. I've managed to do like almost the first page, and I'm like down here by the owl. It's almost completed. I love everything about it. The horses, the horse and the owls and the fairy. Oh my god! And the colors. The colors are so beautiful. This is like my guilty pleasure in the wintertime when the weather sucks. It's like, oh gosh, I'll go work on this because then it's like winter's not so bad. So you do what you gotta do, right? And this one. This is my favorite one of the Moon series. I just love her purple dress and everything about it. But I'm not doing the background on this one either. I'm just going to get a fabric and call it good. For this one, it's just a little tiny one. I would do the background. Just, why not? It's tiny. A lot of Nenes. This one. Moon Indigo. Some of them are kitted, some aren't. They're all just waiting. This one I was really tempted to do the background, but nah. Just the fairy and the moon. That'll work. That's good for me. There's this one. For some reason, this one always reminds me if Hermione from Harry Potter was a fairy. I don't know why. It's just that's what I always think of when I see it. This one, Orchids. I have this one waiting to go, but have not started it. I just love the detail in all of them. And you can't... Deidre. Her. This one I have kitted and ready to go. It's long been a favorite because she's out in the garden. She's got a violin and a swan. And peacocks and swans are on my bucket list. Someday I will have some. I've had peacocks before, but they did not like our harsh winters. And they had been brought up from Missouri, so yeah, it was just, the people were getting rid of them, and they did not like winter. So I didn't get to have them very long. There's that one. This one I have started, but I think I might restart it. A bigger count. Pixie's awake. You want to say hi? Instead of climbing all over my stuff? There she is. She's growing. She's still got her one blue eye and her one green. This one. I'm not sure if I would do the background on that one. I mean, it's very moody and dramatic, but maybe the same thing could be had with, you know, fabric. I haven't looked at it close enough. This one's probably my second favorite just because she's got a raven in there. I love it. This one. There we go. And I'm not sure I think you can still get this one, or oh, I think it's this one. But anyway, it's one of these Heaven and Earth with this couple in it. I think you could still get it at Needlework Plus. At least last time I was on there, maybe a month ago, they still have it. This one's one of my favorites, just because she's got the long brownish red hair out in the fall. Very pretty gown. There's her. There's this one. Oh, she's so pretty. I just love how Mimi does costuming. This one is very special to me because it reminds me of my sister who raised me, because she's got the dark hair and the green eyes. So, yep, that one's very important. You little stinker, you can't be playing with my codes. So, there's her. This one I have ready to go. I'm just going to switch out the background because it's mostly white and gray. So this one's going to go get its own hand-dyed fabric, and I can't wait to start that one. But when my setup is better. Do you want that? Sorry. Okay. This one is probably, if I could narrow it down to only doing 5, this would still be number 1. And this one is a work in progress. I just love this. It's my favorite. Don't have very much done, but still quite a bit. As far as page goes, I think I got over a page. I could be wrong. This one, Christine. We're getting now into the Amy Stewart side of things. And I love Phantom of the Opera music. I've never seen the show, but I love the music. It's so beautiful. This one. Is that one? Think of Me, which is my favorite Phantom of the Opera song. I think I could play that 6,000 times a day, and it's just pretty every time. This one, this one's huge. You know, that would be quite an undertaking. I mean, it's not even a supersized one. And look at those stitch counts. Oh my god. But it's so pretty. So it can file away. It can wait for retirement when, you know, got nothing else to do. When's that, right? This was a freebie that they had on the website for a while. And I just printed it off, and it's waiting like so many. Here's another one of the Romani Gypsy Girl. And then here she is out on her boat, which is such a clever merging of a gondola and a gypsy cart. Oh my goodness, I mean, just look at that. Oh, if I could ever have a boat, it'd have to look like that. So, it's probably a good thing we don't live near the ocean, huh? Now we're getting into another artist that is one of my favorites, Prndl, and you know, you see it, you'll understand why. This one is a work in progress, and I got this one because it reminds me of 2 buckskin horses that I have had. Phoenix, obviously, if you've seen the other videos, Phoenix is in most of them for my horse ones. I also had another buckskin. She was a quarter horse, but I lost her to cancer. So that project is very special. This one, yay, gotta love the blue roan. They're my favorite. My retired barrel horse was a blue roan, but she passed away. She was 28 years old. There's this one. Another buckskin. I love it. This one. Very natives inspired. This one I got, and it's actually ready to go. Of all of Prndl's charts, this one looks, except for the wings, this one looks identical to my horse Dusty. So this one is very special. Someday, it just waits. There's another one, an Overo. Love it. I would love to have this horse in real life. Tell you what. And the last one of hers as a regular chart. I have some other PDFs. Because, I don't know, last year sometime, there was this announcement out on the Facebook group that this artist was going to be retiring and you couldn't get the charts after such a date. So I went and put a bunch on layaway, and, you know, but it turns out that she decided to stay. So you can still get them. And this one I would keep the background on, and the same with the Dusty. All these horse ones I would keep the background on just because I like it. And now we're getting down into, oh, there's some Christmas ones in here. Love Christmas. This one is probably my favorite. I hope to be able to start this one sometime during the Christmas season of some year when I am set to go, but it hasn't happened yet. But this is my favorite, and this would be the one I would push to the end for and do the whole thing because I love everything about it. The lighting, the animals, the Santa. It's hard to get really picky, you know, when it comes to that sort of thing. So when I find one that would work, yeah, I grab them. That one does it. And then there's this one. And I got this one because my son, when he was little, he picked this one out. He since doesn't like it anymore because it's too babyish, but I do. So, you know, what do you do? Just file it away. This one, this is a close second for a Christmas one. I just like the motion of it. You feel the flow of the characters in that painting, and it speaks to me, so I really like it. So this would be close second. And the final one of my Christmas ones is where they're on the roof. I just love it. This artist does such a good job of capturing the whole warm, fuzzy feeling of Christmas, you know. And not only can she render the Santa really well, but also the animals. And to me that's important because I like to have animals involved with my Christmas stuff. So, then there are some fantasy ones in here. I just think this is beautiful with all the characters. It just kind of reminds me of like the circus going on. They're just so pretty. My goodness. A few more by them, by that one. Ciro Marchetti. That one. And this one, again, more of like, I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of circus or theater. And I would love to see theater. We don't live near any of that stuff. And then this one. I love the colors and all the characters in it. It's just so neat. And he has other patterns or so forth on the HAED website. They're just not all of them are these fantasy ones. He's got like clockwork ones and fantasy landscapes and stuff. They're just full of color, and I've seen people's work on them, and they're just so vibrant and they come out pretty true, so I love that. This one, y'all are going to think I'm crazy because there's a bunch of these in the box, but I love her work. I don't care if it takes me 100 years. It'll be that I got to work on something this gorgeous for whatever amount of time. So, love it. This first one is ready to go and waiting, and yeah, well, you know, but it has a special story behind it, and it is this one. There we go. We're painting the dawn. When my kids were a bit smaller, we had a tragedy in the family, and they were really shook up by it because we lost a young person in the family very, very early in his life. He was, you know, just turned 20. So they were really shook up with that, and they kind of internalized it that, well, what if we lose mom? You know, I mean, little kids, that's, you know, what they do. And so, I mean, they were really afraid of that, and I said, well, you know, if that ever happened, you know, I would try to be I'd ask God to be your guardian angel, and that's what I would do. And then maybe if I was good enough, he'd let me paint sunrises and sunsets, and every time you look at that, you know, you'd know that we were watching over you. And so that comforted them, and you know, to this day, you know, I say, boy, if I ever kick the bucket, you know, I hope I get a job painting sunsets and sunrises, and if you guys see that, then you'll know I'm thinking of you too, I'm watching over you. So this project, yeah, holds a special place in the family. I really need to get my, well, Anne Marie's heard me say it, but I really need to get my act together and get going on this stuff. This one, Minerva. Now, I love Celtic mythology. I could read, draw, scribble Celtic mythology all day. So Minerva is very important to me, and I just love her boat and her harp, because it's my dream to have a full-size harp someday. Yeah, I don't think my music room is big enough, but we'll get there. A girl can dream, right? Okay. We got this one. And with Josephine Wall, I just love all the colors and the animals and all the hidden little treasures that she has in her stuff. I don't care if I ever finish one. That doesn't matter. It's that I got to work on something so pretty. This one, I really like that one too. Her scenes are just magical. But I think Aurora Painting the Dawn is the only one of these that I have kitted up. There's this one. There we go. Right of the links. And I've seen other people work on them, and oh my goodness, they are just stunning. There's this one. Queen of the Night. Very ethereal, you know. Another one of the night, Diana. Goddess of the Moon. All the little creatures she's got. Oh, how could you not love that? This one is, this is also a very special one. I picked this one up after Kirsten passed away, and the big song that year was If I Die Young by the band Perry. Now, I listen to all kinds of music, but that song is, oh, it's a choke-up. And, you know, one of the lyrics is that the lady would turn into a rainbow, and she would shine down on her mom, and her mom would know it was her because, you know, she was standing in all the colors. I'm like, oh, that's Kirsten. That's Kirsten and her mom. So, yeah, that one's very special, and I need to get going. Get going on these things. I kind of took a hiatus from the Heaven and Earths just because I didn't have a setup for them. This one, I really like her too. She's just got so much going on in her things. I love them. This one, you would think my love for mermaids, I would have gotten the full-size one, but maybe I will in the PDF. But I just like how this has such a cool shape to it. This one is another favorite. It's because it's all wintry and everything. And now we're down into, we're getting near the bottom, I promise. I promise. Like I said, this held 15 pounds of onion rings. Oh, the box is pretty big. This one. I love her stuff. She has such pretty, pretty versions of eyes and children. You know, I like her stuff. So I would probably, you know, I'd do that in a heartbeat. There's this one. I would cut out the gray background, and probably on a lot of these, that would be the case. Unless it's scenery like this one. This one I would keep the background in, but yeah, Ophelia, I mean, my goodness, you can't go wrong. It's just so beautiful. And this one, I just like her expression, like, oh, seriously? Don't even go there. You can't. You ain't gonna buffalo me. So, oh, this one was mixed in. It's by that Zero guy, and I just love it. It reminds me of Hedwig. So, yeah, you gotta love Hedwig. And that's just a little tiny skinny one, which would be fun to do. Wouldn't take long, I wouldn't think. This one. And those eyes, they're just mesmerizing. And I love eyes. This one, I really like her too. There we go. And then we're into some miscellaneous fantasy, but here is the last one. There's this one, and this one is kitted and ready to go. I just have not started it. Alright, we're going to have to get a little faster here. I'm getting on time. There's this one. Can't remember the names. This one, I just like her wings and the tiger. I mean, that is just so pretty. The seasons. I love everything about it. What can I say? And this one too. It's got the fairy and the peacock and Cinderella's carriage, and oh my goodness, all good things. And then this one was one of Kirsten's that she had. She didn't have this one kitted out, she just had the chart. And then this one, I believe, was a prize. It was either a prize or a freebie. I think it was a prize for one of the challenges, or maybe one of like on the bulletin board. She would sometimes do giveaways if you know, participated in something or other, and that was one of these. But it's been, oh my goodness, 6 or 7 years at least, and I can't remember what all. I just remember that it was a free one. Okay, that concludes that section of it. A couple other Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Poissons volants la Carrefour. And I just love that. It just reminds me of a little mermaid peeking out with all the fish there. It's so cute. And then this one, I love octopus. They're so fun to draw and paint. So, yeah, that one had to come live with me. And so that is all of them and all of the charts. So, now we can get into the PDF, so maybe that'll go a little faster. Try to. We'll try. There's this one. Beloved. This one just needs some fabric, but I got the threads for it. This one I will stitch the background on. I know that sounds really crazy, but I've seen how it looks from other people's projects of it, and you pretty much do need the background to keep the cohesion of it. But that's okay, there isn't much. It's mostly characters in that, so I think I can stomach it. This one, yeah, we know a famous lady who's working on this one. It's dang good. There's that one. This one, I just love that guy. He reminds me of James Bond in the Victorian era. I mean, I just love him. So yeah, and he's small, so it wouldn't be so bad. There's this one, and I love her. I would probably do the background on this one too, because I don't know if I could find a fabric to replicate those trees. And on the back side, the Ranger. Love me some Aragon. It's got to be done. This one, Gentle Spirit. The lower level of our house, our finished basement, is all Western and Native American, so she's perfect. But I love this one. I just love her. So maybe, yeah, love her. She's then this one. And this is another. I really like Marta Dalig. Some of hers. I think I pretty much have all the ones that I do like of hers. Some of hers are kind of weird and creepy. I mean, I'll be totally honest, they're kind of creepy with claws and weird poses, but and she just does a pretty lady. She can nail it. Evergreen. I know I Heart Cross Stitch is working on this one. Yeah. I actually just found out that they've done Evergreen without the background, and so I nipped on their website the last sale they had, and I nabbed that one. So that was my treat. I'm gonna do it without the background. This one, The Collector. I'm writing a story about a scientist girl in medieval, or not medieval, in Victorian times. It's rather a steampunk kind of thing, and this just kind of fit. She's, you know, doing all kinds of science stuff. This one, another one by Tracy Butler. I love Tracy Butler's stuff. This one reminds me of Stevie Nicks, and so that's what I'm going to call her when I do get to start this one. And that's my Stevie Nicks. It just reminds me of her. Then we got a bunch more Prndls. There's that one. And this one is going to be representing my journey with Tango, because it looks like her. So, yeah. But it's when she graduates, that's what I will do. She's a long way from graduating. There's this one you've already seen, but this was the cover page for its chart. There's this one, which is so beautiful. I love unicorns, but I'm really picky on how they're presented. So, yeah, the more realistic, the better. This one I would stitch the background, just because I like how it ties to the horse's colors, and I don't know if I could find fabric to do that. You know, I like the background as it is. And then, of course, this one. Same story. I would do the background on that one. And this one. This one kind of reminds me of Sierra. There's another one on the website that looks more like her, but I haven't gotten that one yet. And then, of course, another Phoenix. Gotta love it. And I do. Here's some The Lackadaisy. Demon Brum. That's a whip I started for a guilt-free January when I first got into Flosstube. Scale. Another favorite. And I know there's another lady working on her. I know, it's so pretty. This one was a special release on the bulletin board, the Heaven and Earth bulletin board, way back years ago. And how it worked was you got this chart, you got like a crop of a chart that you picked out, and in 4 pieces. So like you had 4 months to do it. And then if you won that challenge, or you were able to win that challenge, then you would get a free chart. So I mean, she's always got contests like that going on, or at least she did. I'm not sure about now, but oh my God, I love it. It's another Nene Thomas, and I started this one twice. Maybe one of these days I'll get it right. Okay, we're almost done. There's just a real quick of the geishas, because I still collect these guys. It's not the dolls, but the projects. So there's that one. That was Yozakura. This one is Aratama, or Aratama. And these I would not do the backgrounds on. Nope, just the lady. This is one of my favorites. I like the kimono. That's how a kimono ought to look. Rich and full of stuff. There's that one. I love her pose. They're so graceful. Figurine. This one was actually a random act of kindness gift from Kim. So thank you, Kim. I still need to get everything for it, but that'll be the first of the geisha that I start because she was kind enough. There's this one. And I seen it on the Facebook groups that somebody had finished this and left it in the fair and, you know, did really well with it. And it was just breathtaking. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then last one. Wait. Elsa is somewhere. I can't find Elsa. Ah, she must have run away. And then there's this one. But the Elsa was one that it had been discontinued while it was still in my wish list, and so I never bought it. And I was kicking myself and panic, and you just feel that gutted feeling, you know. Then they got it back for, I don't know. I wonder how many she sold the week that she announced that she got it back. I don't know if you can still get it now, but yeah. Oh my God, I wonder how many that sold. Just because everybody had been so gutted when that pattern went out. And then to get a second chance at it, it was like the Arwen and Aragon pattern all over again because it was just a mad rush. I was like, oh my God, I have to get that like right now. That's what you do. So anyway, oh my goodness. It's almost been an hour of me. So if you've stayed with it this long, I really admire your fortitude. Thank you. So I won't keep you any longer. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the madness that is my cross-stitching adventure journey. And thanks for coming along for the ride today. Next week there probably won't be a video just because we got harvest going on. That in itself is kind of crazy, and we're trying to push before I get to finally, hopefully, go on a real retreat. That'll be toward the end of the week. So it's going to be a crazy week. I don't know if I'll get a chance to film before then or at the retreat. That just kind of depends on, you know, how comfortable people are, and I don't want people to feel, you know, uncomfortable or, you know, like their privacy was invaded or anything like that. So I don't know if I'll be filming there or whatever. Just have to see it as it comes. But I'm really excited. It's gonna be so fun to see the girls again and actually get to stay this time instead of just visiting for a couple of hours. So it's gonna be awesome. So I want to thank you all for listening to me rattle, and I will catch you again on the flip side. Blessings to you all. You all are my joy. You kind of keep me anchored in this whole stitching adventure because if I personally cannot stitch that day or whatever, you know, I know somebody's out there is getting to, and I can enjoy it through them. So, you know, that part of it is amazing. So take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch up with you soon, and thanks again. Bye.